All right.
Hey, Tom here, Flip Anything USA. Anyhow, long day. We're getting a little rough setup here. Anyhow, Flip Anything USA. My name's Tom. I've got a book, Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate. It's right here, over this way. Anyways, above my head. Been a big seller. Got a mentorship program going now. Been buying and selling real estate for 39 years. And that's pretty much all I've done ever since. Anyways, tonight we're going to talk about a few things pretty cool. Deals lost, deals made. I'm going to give you details on this big one I lost. And I'm going to show you really cool. I'm going to share something with you that's really cool, why I lost it. So give us a second. All right. So, sorry, still getting organized here. All right. I suppose everybody can hear me.
Yep. You're
Okay.
good.
Great. Hey, we can call in too. If anybody's got something they want to call into, they can call in. A couple of things. I told you guys I was all excited about a deal that I had. And I really was. And I even made a video. I got to share a video with you too that I made actually. I made a video the day that I was about to sign it, and I thought, man, I've told you guys, remember a few weeks ago, I said this is either going to be a really, really great story where I win, or it's going to be kind of a great story where I lost. And unfortunately, it's going to be a great story where I lost one. But there's a huge lesson in here, and it's one that I've seen before and I've done well on before, and I'm kind of hiding some of the details because I don't want to get anybody in trouble. But the bottom line is, it's just an unfortunate deal. But we'll get into that in a second. We'll talk about Chris's deal. Why don't you talk about your deal, Chris? And I'll dig for this other video that I got. Chris has got some things going. I'll let him share with that, and then I'm gonna see if I can pull the video and I'll share that with you guys too.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tom and I, we're not technical experts, but Tom is an expert on real estate, so it's always fun to. I've learned so much from Tom, from his book. The mentorship, and even just these discussions. So it's a privilege just getting to sit here. But yeah, before we go any further, hit the like, subscribe button,
Thank you.
just so that, we can get more people watching the video. But yeah, so I actually kind of lost a deal, but I also made a deal. And I've learned something, Tom, even just, again, I kind of always joke about being as green as the green screen here in the studio when it comes to real estate, but I'm learning. And for those of you that are also, green, new to investing, real estate investing, you learn really quickly. If we have the same personality, maybe not, but you get emotionally attached to ideas and to properties and owning a property and getting a property and signing the deal, or waiting to sign the deal, or waiting for somebody else to sign the deal.
Yeah, it's your FOMO thing, right?
Yeah, the fear of missing out, right? But specifically, in the ways that Tom talks about in his book, and how to find good properties, under market value. I had been targeting this one area, and I actually found it a fantastic piece of property that I thought would be a great fit for my parents. They're in their golden years, retiring, and they just sold a rental house, and so they need to do a 1031 exchange for a property that they could actually rent out short-term, do short-term rentals like I do with Airbnb, and actually also enjoy the place for themselves. Well, this guy, for probably a month, has phone conversations with me, my dad, gives us access to the property. We go swimming, there at the property, gives my dad a key to the house, says, check it out, all that kind of stuff. And the guy said, hey, a strong offer would be, such and such. And so at the end of the day, my dad goes, okay, that's what I'll give you. And then the guy said, well, let me talk it over with my wife. And sure enough, the guy backs out and he goes, this place is just, it's really special to our family. I don't think we're going to let it go. So it's just like you spend all this time, and you really do. You get wrapped up in the emotions of thinking and dreaming what it would be like to own that property, or someone close to you owning that property. So all that to say, that fell through. I'm still hunting for my mom and dad, and we're going to come up with something. I'm excited. I'm still excited because I know that there's going to be something out there. However, my deal, man.
You had one fall in your lap, right?
I had one totally fall in my lap, and I'm going to save that story for another day because that is, I can't wait to show you pictures of this place. It's amazing. So stay tuned. Tune in every Tuesday, Thursday.
Oh, you're really being careful. Good for you.
At some point, I'll share all the pictures with you guys and whatnot. It's a really fun place, and it's going to be a great short-term rental. It's almost a gift, really. So, so this other one though, I get a call. This is 2 nights ago, and it's 10:30 at night. I actually fallen asleep on the couch. My wife and I are watching a show. I've been building a deck all day, and I was exhausted. But I kind of like scrambled for my phone. Who is this? It's from Oklahoma. I don't know the number. And my wife actually, the next morning, she goes, "Hey, did you know you bought somebody's property last night?"
Oh, is that right?
And I was like, yeah, I think that's what happened. But, I have my notebook that Tom talks about in the class, and I knew the values and all that. And somebody had actually called me back on, a letter I'd sent out about a particular piece of property. And it was a vacant lot. And so this is actually really great for somebody like me, a beginner investor, but it was a vacant lot. And the tax assessor said it rung in around $11,000. But the square footage of the lot, after doing some homework and see what other comp properties are in the neighborhood, I think it could actually sell for 20, maybe somewhere between 15 and 20. And we talked a little bit, and sure enough, she said, well, that lot belonged to my mom and dad. They've since passed. We've had it in the family for 10 years. Nobody's touched it. We've been paying taxes on it. I'm actually, 2 years behind in my taxes. And I said, okay. I said, well, how does 5,000 sound? And she goes, that sounds great. And she says, so what do I do? And I said, well, let's walk through a purchase agreement. And I talked to her through it over the phone. Again, I'm still like rubbing the sleep out of my eyes. And, I'm like, yeah, you do this. And she goes, now what? And I said, well, just, put it in that envelope that has a stamp on it that I sent you and get it in the mail to me. And I'll take it to the title company and we'll write it up. And I mean, obviously things can still go wrong maybe, but I don't see I don't see anything going wrong at this point. And I'm excited to open the mailbox here in a few days and get that deal going. Yep. And
And so what he just said is exactly what I've told you in the classes and in the book. And that is, like I told you, when all of a sudden somebody's knocking on my door and, on the side of my building that I was living inside of, and got your letter. And we sat down and we made a deal. That happens. You look at, you're kind of throwing the seeds out there and they start to grow, and you don't know if they're going to come back in a week or a month or a year or 2 years, because that's what happens. They can come back. And that's why it's so important. Keep your organizer book that I sent you. You got to keep this. You can't receive very well, but this is your organizer book. You got to have it. And those of you just watching, I have a mentorship. We already have guys making money besides Chris. We got Ron, and we got other. Chris is like a living, rolling testimonial every day because he's making deals. Just about every week he's got something either just getting away or made. But he's already made several deals, right?
Well, I told my wife, I'm like, I got so many irons in the fire right now. Like I'm like, like right now I'm also working on a flip house with a buddy, Yeah. And so. Yeah, there's some different stuff going on. And I will say this a lot. Whenever I close this deal, this will be my first official real estate deal made, if that makes sense, according to, going with the specs on your book and whatnot. And so I'm really excited.
Well, really it's like a textbook story. What you just said, everything. They came back, they called you, you wake up, you're like off guard. And then that's when you grab your book and you got things in alphabetical order. It's real important. It's real important because you don't want to say, who are you? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's got to be, I was hoping you'd call.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it could be one of 1,000 people,
Right.
okay, or 10,000 people, depending on how many. You know,
It was actually probably good that I was sleepy because
you had an excuse.
No, it was probably good that I was sleepy because I didn't like show my hand of how excited I was to land my first deal. It was just kind of like, just do this and I'll give you this. And she's like, so that's that. And I'm like, yeah, that's it.
Well, that's like your first deal. You got another one already going, right? You got one in escrow. The Airbnb. Right?
Oh, well, yeah, that's the one.
You're not counting that one?
I don't want to really talk about that one just yet.
Okay.
So.
See, I'm sorry. Well, I wasn't specific at all.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
But, all that to say, I was going to ask this, Tom. So it's a vacant lot, and it's right in between two old homes. And so on the vacant lot, I'm thinking about, okay, like let's make some money right away. So let's sell the lot, put a for sale by owner sign in the yard. Maybe knock on the neighbors' doors. I don't know. But you talked about one point in your book or here on the show talking about cooperating with real estate agents.
Oh,
and how you write that on the sign and what that means.
Right. And so, look, I showed you guys on Google Earth the other day. In fact, I'll show you again real quick here. But to his question, what it is he's got a lot. He's got like right? I don't want to give any details, right? He's got a lot. Yeah. He's buying it at a decent price, about half of what it's worth for sure. And he's going to, and I did a lot of that. I bought stuff and I sold for twice what I paid for it, sometimes 3 times. And he's putting a for sale sign on. He's going to stick a for sale sign in there. This is what I do. I stick a for sale sign. Not always, not even always, but if it's in a neighborhood where he's putting his for sale sign up and he's right. Agent co-op, and you guys know it's in my book. If you just got here, it's in the book already. And I see somebody's in here asking questions that I obviously don't have the book, so I'll let one of the students, or one of the people that read my book, answer this guy, please. Tuner, if you don't mind. But the thing is we got Amber Alerts going on too. So you stick a sign out there it says for sale. Your phone number, but write agent co-op. Just on the off chance there's an agent driving by that has a client that wants to, is looking. They'll call you up and they'll say, hey, well, what's the co-op? And you say, I'll give you 3%. I write agent co-op 3% too.
Okay.
In fact, I can show you guys, I got signs that are 20 years old that say for sale, probably an old phone number or not, that say agent co. Actually, I got one in a yard, and what am I saying? I got one that's in a yard right now. That's just exactly like that.
Agent co-op 3%. And that means that I'm going to pay that agent 3% if they bring me a buyer.
Yeah, just like as if they were a selling agent and you had it listed with somebody else. That's totally is what you would do.
Yeah,
it's totally what you do.
So anyway, stay tuned, and we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah. All right. So look, let's get a couple questions here, but you guys got to stay tuned for this. This is gold. I'm going to give you something tonight that is just pure gold, and. Usually I'm on the winning end of this type of thing, but this time I wasn't. But it's still a hell of a lesson, and it's just going to make your mouth water. It's so cool. And it doesn't matter that I didn't get it, because this is the thing. This is probably $400,000 lost, to be quite honest, and it's not that big a deal. It's heartbreaking when you don't have $400,000, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when you know that, and I know, see, I got an advantage over those. I know that it's okay. I'll get another deal. And like I tell you, when you just miss one, it means you're doing the right thing. You came that close. Close.
A little teaser. Is it something you did that messed up this deal?
No.
Or is it something you
a little bit?
Missed?
No, I'm going to take some responsibility for it.
Okay.
I told you guys the thing that's cost me more money than anything, millions of dollars, okay, is hesitation. And the thing that has made me tens of millions is not hesitating, not procrastinating.
Yeah.
So it's super important that you don't hesitate. You see an opportunity, you go straight for it. It's just like the girl sitting at the bar. She's standing alone. Guess what? She ain't going to be standing alone for long. So get over there. That's, it's all part of it. It's that.
Yeah.
It's go get over there, make that phone call, knock on that door, make your offer. And in this one, to be honest, it's not 100% my fault, but I'm going to own it anyways because I'm pissed at myself because, anyways, it's painful. You guys are going to feel the pain. You're going to see it. So where to start? Let's go over here. Maybe I'll get to a question here first. No, I'll just go straight to this. All right, let me get over here. All right, so pay attention, everybody, because this is really good. This is really, really good. Okay, so I told you that sometimes the biggest blunder that can be in your favor is an agent not doing a good job selling the property, not doing a good job representing the property. And that's why you got to watch your agents like a hawk, okay? Because this agent did not do their seller any favors. Okay, so I want you to look at this right here, okay? This is a listing. This is how the property is represented to the open public, which you see right here, okay? Look at it. It says building size, 2,179 square feet, right? Now, look at this. It's saying $389 a foot, okay? This is totally incorrect. Totally incorrect. Now, but at my first glance, I'm going, oh, shit, that's way too expensive per foot. Way too small a building. I'm not interested. I'm looking to spend $1 million to $2 million, but I want 10, 20, 30,000 square feet. This is what I'm looking for. And this has a nice piece of property. It's like, it's over 5 acres. And so what you see back here in the background, that's me. Okay. Cause now I'm bird dogging heavy. I'm really bird dogging heavy. Well, I wander by this property and I look up at it from the street and let's see. Okay, and this is what I see. Okay, can you see that? Let me see if I don't know if I can make that bigger or not. Well, a little bit. All right, this is what it looks like from the road, right? Doesn't look like much, and so it didn't get a ton of attention. I checked it out. I see a little modular home here. Well, now when I have like $1 million in the bank and I'm hungry to get my money, my 1031, carried over and buy something new, I'm looking more closely. I'm running up and down this highway all over the place.
So you'd already seen this property glanced
I saw the sign. I called on the sign.
Like you do always.
Like I always do.
Right.
Yeah. And it led me, it's here. And this is what they sent me. And of course I look at it and I go, oh, 2,000 square foot building. I'm not thrilled. It's just not that big. And it was $1.2 million. The property was $1.2 million at that time, 1.2. Now I'm looking super hard and heavy. The clock is running out. Well, I pull up into that road. Okay. And what do I see? I see this. I see about a 5,000 square foot building, not a part of the listing. Okay, 5,000 freaking square feet. Okay, and guess what? I just lost this deal today, by the way. Just lost it today. And look what else. This is another building, another 5,000 square foot building. Okay, and then over here, if you can see right here, this has the potential right back here. That's like another 2,500. Well, actually, right here, this is another 2,500 square feet. So there's like another 12,000 square foot of building here that's not in here. If this would have been accurate. Okay, now let's go back to this. Yeah, I'm disgusted. I'm mad at myself, but really, I'm mad. I'm just mad that I didn't get it more than anything. But so look at this. This should be 12,179 square feet. It's so ridiculously inaccurate. And the agent should have caught this. I mean, you're looking at it. You're putting this in there. You're selling it for somebody. You should you're not even doing your job. You got a fiduciary duty to make everything perfect. This property was for sale basically $100 a foot, not $389 a foot, and it had acreage. And so it was totally lamely, and now I pull in. Okay, so I pull in, and I see this. I call an agent. Agent says, that's, I'm trying not to give it up too much. It's sold. It's probably sold. I said, has it been signed? They go, no. I go, I want to make an offer right now. I go, I'll be on the property. I pulled up into the driveway, and I met the groundskeeper. And I said, hey, show me around. I go, the agent's coming. And he's a real nice guy. He shows me around. He's just a worker. He doesn't own the property. But in the tour, he goes, I go, I'm so excited. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm buying this. And I get the card. I get a card. I go, oh, this is the owner's. I call the owner immediately. And I said, hey, I just want you to know that I'm looking at your property. I understand you have a deal coming in, an offer coming in. I don't want you to take it. I'll pay for it. I'll buy it. I go, And he says, oh, yeah, well, that sounds good. He'll show you around. I said, yeah. I call him up, and I said, I'm talking to the owner now. This is before the agent got there. I said, so look, what will make it happen? He said, $825. I said, okay, it's a deal. I'll take it. I'll buy it. No problem. We'll close in a week or two, whatever you want. And he said, I probably need 3 weeks. I go, that's not a problem. I said, but I'm 100% sure. I want you to know. And I said, and I'm showing your guy here, okay, and I'm going to send you. And I started sending him proof of cash, okay, that I have the cash. And so that he's fired up. He's like, okay, great. We talked about a bunch of stuff. He's just like me. He's a working guy. He's a working guy. He doesn't have a 401k. He doesn't have, he doesn't have retirement. Doesn't have anything. All he has is the assets that he's collected. Now he's cashing in. He's probably, I gather he might be 10 years older than me. I don't know. So I'm waiting for the agent. And then the agent gets there. And there's it's like a couple kind of agent thing going on. And I'm like excited. I'm excited. And so I made this video, and because I'm making it here for the class to show you guys I'm about to steal this thing, I think. And so here's what I got. Take a look. Hey guys, I'm in the midst of making an incredible bird dog deal with all the elements that I've taught you in my course about, being super, super diligent and tough and not backing down and staying on it and not taking no for an answer and pushing hard. And some people are uncomfortable doing that. But and the reason I'm not even showing you any more than what you see right now is because I'm about to snatch this away from a competitor. See ya. That's how it was supposed to go.
Well, and again, I think that's a valuable lesson. What you just said, though, that's how it was supposed to go.
Yeah.
Again, you never count your deal until you have it in your hand.
Yeah, and I didn't. But it looked like it was all happening.
For sure.
I mean, so I'm doing everything. I'm standing on the property. I'm waiting for the agent. I already talked to the owner. I said, look, me and the owner already got a deal. Well, of course, this is how it gets screwed up. The other agent involved said, oh, well, it's really close. I said, well, yeah, I know. That's why I'll buy it for more, whatever I got to do. And the other agent took a long time to get back with me, a long time. So long that I called the owner again. I said, hey, I just want to make sure I'm buying this thing. I'm ready. Just if you told me you'd take that, so I assume that's a deal if you'll take that. And he says, well, yeah. He goes, yep. And so the agent calls me back. Then finally the agent says, well, Tom, look, he goes, I'll get back with you. He goes, but the deal is, and this may be true, how I trust people. He says, but he goes, he already signed a counteroffer. He's just been waiting for the buyers to sign it. He goes, and they've signed it now. In other words, he's saying that it's not like that's the story. They came back. The seller had already signed off on the price that he signed off on, and these guys just took it. And it could very well be that my presence there, gave him, said, okay, no more screwing around. Anyways, so he got it back. Now, what's terrible about this is it wasn't 1.2 million anymore. Now it's 825,000, and it's worth 1.2. In fact, who knows? Maybe I'll buy the damn thing from the guy that bought it. I don't know. But so here
you really like it.
Yeah. Well, here, look, I don't even remember. This is the 3 minutes. Here's a video I made there when I was there. I was going to show you guys, showing you around. Hey, Tom here, Flip Anything. So look at this is bird dogging at its best. I told you I just closed the property, and I come by. It turned out I called on this property. I forgot that I did 3 or 4 months ago, 5 months ago, but they wanted a lot more for it then. Well, I called on it again today, and now. Again, it looks like I'm going to snatch this away from somebody else. They were just about to get the contract signed today. I told the agent, I said, I want to meet you right now. And actually, I met the agent's wife is what ended up happening. But the bottom line is, I immediately got a card from the company that has this. It's like a trucking company, okay? And I got a hold of the owner. Me and him speak the same language. I've been a hard worker my whole life. He, like myself, our money's, we retire on the money that we create by accumulating the assets that we've created over a period of years. And so we had a nice long talk. Like I tell you, always make a friend. And so before we got off the phone, he's like, let's keep talking. So I got a 5,000 square foot building here. That's like another 5,000 square foot building there. This is 5 acres of industrial property, and it has some other significant attributes that are really good for this type of property. For one thing, just so you know, take a look at that telephone pole up
It
there.
had a three-phase.
I don't know if I can zoom in.
Three-phase electricity.
Right there. See that? Each one of those, when you see those barrels, those are transformers. When you see 3 of them, that means 3-phase. 3-phase electricity. It's a very big asset.
Yeah, and it had a hell of a service too. Like I think I had like a 2,000 amps, which is a lot. So maybe it's even a little more. So anyways, I don't have to play the whole thing for you, but you guys can see. Again, it all boils down to this. You know, it was not represented right. It was represented at $389 a foot. It's $100 a foot. But if you just see, if you're just shopping by paper, that's why you can't always go by the records. You can't always go by the records. And that's why I say I don't like buying out of state. You know, that's shotgun stuff. It doesn't work. I mean, it can. I bought some, but I mean, I'm telling you, there's diamonds right in your own backyard.
You got to know.
And I just missed this. And by the way, I almost called on the sign 2 days before this. That's what I'm talking about. If I'd have called on it 2 days before this, I would have got it. You know, it was a Sunday. You know, he'd already signed. He signed the paper the day before, if that story's true. But but like you can see, this 2,000 is really 12,000. This 389 is really like 99.
And for those that are tuning in that maybe you are new to real estate or just a reminder, like it really is, it's about knowing your value, knowing the value of the property and the comps around, but also knowing your area, targeting your area. Because a lot of people might see this, Tom, and they'd be like, so what, like it's an empty warehouse and there's like shacks on the property. Like, why are you so excited about it? Why is it worth $825,000?
Yeah, that's a huge pile of cash, just so you know.
Yeah. Well, and that's just so, you know, I think it's been interesting because even some of my family, they're like, why would you buy that place? And I'm like, because of the value.
Well,
and what about, I guess answer this for me too. Like, what about potential? Like value, buying something under market versus like you see a place like that and you start dreaming a little bit like, okay, what could this be?
Sure.
And what am I need to fix here? How much money do I need to put into this?
Yeah. Well, see, this is the thing, to know value, right? I know value. So as soon as I sell it, I go, oh, it's a deal. And now I'm just trying to let them know that this isn't me just making a hasty decision. I'll take it. I'll buy it. And so I'm showing I got the money. I got the ready. I got the, I'm showing that I've got the, the not just the means to buy it, but I have the need to buy it. I have a 1031. It's 100%. It's a deal. And anyways, but that could have been a great story. This could have been a really, really great story.
But you did followed your own advice though in this. If some people are just listening to the story for the first time, is you got second position in line right away.
Yeah, I got in second. Yeah, not only that, I got in second position in escrow. So in other words, I was in title with this I was already in escrow as if I was buying it, standing by. So as soon as this person dropped out, it'd be like, boom, Tom's in. And that's even unusual, but I did get that done on this deal. But yeah, so the bottom line is that this property was worth $100 a foot just on the buildings, plus the grounds. The grounds are large. Okay, the grounds are large, and I would have rented these buildings for 80 cents a foot. So there's 96 or 80,000. Then the other little thing would have been about maybe $2,000 plus a little yard. So there's 120. Well, not 120,000. What would that be? 110,000 roughly. 110,000 a year income just on that, and then there's room to add more buildings and stuff. So I could have just turned this and made 400,000. But in all honesty, I would have kept it. And so, just so you guys know, here's the good part of this story, is I ended up buying I have another property in escrow that is an acre smaller. It's $175,000 more. Okay, but it is flat, okay? I have more usable property. Now, this has great frontage, and I have sewer on the other one, and I think this one has sewer too. I caught a sewer the other day, and I was like, oh, it's even better than I thought. So anyways, the other one I have is closer to town too. So anyways, I found something comparable to replace it. So even though I'm out I made up for it. I got another deal that's almost as good, maybe better, to be honest. Flat land is important. When it's flat, it's just much more buildable, easier to deal with. This is a little bit up, but it's still, this is a beaut. It's a shame. I mean, it is what it is. But this is good. You got to see, you're going to miss deals. You're going to get your heart broken over a couple of them.
Yeah.
And this isn't a huge heartbreaker, believe me. I have one that I still haven't brought myself to tell you guys a story. I'm going to show you guys a story one day that, oh my gosh, there's over $1.5 million, $2 million on the table, and I blew it. I kind of blew it.
Well, and I think for those that are following your book and the mentorship and whatnot, and they're chasing those deals, for my parents, they were kind of like, that house didn't work out for us, so maybe we just need to pay off the house we're living in and just be done and give up the dream.
Right.
It's kind of like, not so fast. There's other deals out there. We just need to keep flipping stones over until we find something there.
Yeah, you're not trying to buy something every week. You're waiting to take a swing.
Right.
It's just got to be the right pitch.
Yeah.
And anyways, that was my deal. Anyways, so I got to just got to get it out of my sight. No, I don't even want to look. I got it on another monitor. Okay, there. I'm tired of seeing it.
Yeah.
But I'm real happy about the other deal that I got, and that'll be closing up here pretty quick. And I think I just got approved on I got a line of credit I got just to carry me over to this other thing that I'm buying. So it's been a good week. It's really been a great week. And I got another deal that it's online now too that I'm playing with. And it may be great. And I did, and you guys like the landlord videos. Chris says he likes them.
Yeah.
I just did one where I got the 3 tenants ready, and I did another one today you haven't seen yet. But it's just kind of checking on the property early AM.
Property management.
Yeah. You just kind of watch your stuff. So, all right, what else?
Let's get some questions.
Yeah.
Get some questions coming in. And while we're waiting on some of those, let's see, realtor license.
Okay, actually, here's a question I see. Let me spot this one here. Hi, Tom. Do you take the same approach when buying your personal house? Wife wants the nice house with pool. Should I go straight to an agent or letters? Listen, Miguel, if you want to make a good deal, listen, I mean, I don't know how looks, I don't know who wears the pants in your family, but I'm kidding. but anyways, no. Look, when I bought my house, my wife did not like it. And I go, look, I know real estate, you don't. She wanted a cracker box, what she wanted. Now she's more educated on it now, But I would make a joke with her. I'd say, look, are you kidding that house? Are you kidding? You could open your window when you're doing dishes and shake hands with the neighbor through their window. It's ridiculously close. But she liked the new house. I go, the house doesn't matter. House doesn't matter. So I can build anything on this. And I had bought an old 1956 ranch house, but I'm on a really beautiful piece of property in a really prime area, and it was the right move, and that's where we raised all of our kids. Miguel, I understand some people. Listen, when I say I got to check with the wife, I'm lying. Okay, I'm lying. I don't have to check with the wife. This is what I do for a living. I make money buying and selling real estate. I pull up to a property. My wife would say, "Why are we stopping here?" And I'd say, we own it. She doesn't know. She doesn't know because she doesn't need to know, But again, that was my experience with my wife when I was older than her. I was already a millionaire when I met my wife, by the way. So, Well,
I mean, and I think also, for Miguel, maybe Tom, you could speak to this, but I think, I can even speak to this. I mean, I'm a married guy, but I think success builds trust in what you're going after. Like my wife, she's like, "Now what are we buying?" And I'll tell her, and she's like, "I mean, if you think it's a good deal," and because I flipped it, not houses per se, but I've flipped enough things and knowing value that if you got a good deal, you got a good deal. But what about? I think it is interesting, on the pool subject, buying a house and building a pool. People always say, you don't get your money back from that. But I know you've got a pool. What is your experience with pools or buying homes with pools or without pools? And
they're expensive.
They're expensive.
Yeah, expensive when you're digging a hole in a rock, okay? Because that's the ground that I'm on is solid rock. Yeah. And so we didn't start with a shovel. We started with a jackhammer. It took 3 weeks to chip that thing, but I put a pool in. It's like a half-size Olympic. So it's, but look, I personally, I enjoy a home, got enough. It's like a park, It's like we live inside a park,
Sure.
But
you've purchased homes though that have pools before?
Yeah. I showed one the other day. I got a beautiful one here on my first house. Actually, I'll show you guys real quick. My first home. Let me see here. It's opening up on Google Earth. But anyways, yeah, it doesn't really matter, I guess. But the pools are great. If you want a pool, I mean, you love it. I mean, like I said, I put in a new pool, and it's expensive. It's expensive when you do it. You make it right, and you have everything that you want. Let's see the rest of these questions.
Oh, it looks like Roy Roberto made a deal. You gonna read that?
Oh wow, yeah.
Hey, Tom and Chris, closed a deal on an apartment, 2 bedrooms for $32,000 after all expenses, renovations, and 30% down payment. I spent $12,000. Similar apartments are selling for $75,000, but
Wow.
I decided to rent it because I need seed money, and I can get, after all the expenses, $450 a month, 45% cash on cash return. What's your opinion?
Yeah. Let's do the math on that. You're getting, what does that come out? What's your cap rate on that based on what you have in it? Are you saying you paid cash for the whole property? You're talking about you getting 45% on the down, the $12,000 that you put down? I'm trying to understand the numbers a little bit.
Yeah, let's see. Culture friendly. Can't wait to buy
You bought it
both.
for $32,000 after all expenses, renovations. Oh, no finance. 70%.
You financed 70%.
Oh, okay. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, what's the total you have in it? Looks like 45,000. Is that right? Either way, look, you're getting a 10% cap rate if that's it, pretty much, because you're getting you're getting 4 times that. That's 4,800 plus another 600. Yeah, so you're getting 5,400. So you're getting $5,400 a year on a property that's worth 70. That's roughly 7%, roughly 7%, 7.5%. Yeah, so that's a decent return. I mean, you can sell that property for more. I mean, like I say, you're right. You have equity. You definitely have equity. You can sell that thing you can probably sell for maybe even 85, right? So you can make $40,000, and then you'd have your seed capital, to be honest. So listen, this is always the thing you're going to get into, is you're going to go, if I sell it, what do I do with the money? And right now you're going to pay short-term capital gains if you sell it right now. But I can tell you, when I was young, when I was 19, 20, 21, I would have sold it. And I would have taken, unless I had another $100,000 sitting in the bank, which I didn't, I would have sold that and just got the $40,000. But I'd have already had it spent on buying more property.
You would have taken the hit, paid the taxes.
Well, look at he just turned $12,000 into 40.
Yeah.
That's what you got to look at it as. You just took $12,000 and turned it into 40.
Yeah.
And so now you just sit idle and collect $450 a month. Why? I would just sell it and see if you can't, look, you turn 12 into 40, see if you can't turn 40 into 120,000.
Right.
That's what people have a hard time doing. Okay. That's what I did. Okay. I was very aggressive. All I wanted to do was sell. And like Chris said, you got to avoid, the emotional part. It's like, look over here. This is actually a good example here. So I'm going to go over here. And I'll pull it up so you guys can see it here. Okay.
Liam says, sell.
Sell, yeah, absolutely sell. Listen, you can't get hurt taking a profit. Those are Henry Booker's words. Henry Booker's, he was a real estate guy, made a lot of money. He was a fireman that worked 3 days on, 4 days off or something like that. But he had that 4 days to bird dog and find deals, and that's what he did. He bought property all over Los Angeles. Then we ran into each other, and, he said, Tommy, you can never get hurt taking a profit. Just remember, you can't get hurt taking a profit. Of course, he's telling me that while he's buying 2 buildings from me. But, but I'm glad. I had no regrets. So let me see if I can show you guys here something. Oh, yeah. All right, so check this out, just to get to our point, what we were just talking about. So I've got Google Earth open here. about taking a profit, right? Look, I flipped, here's a property I flipped right here. This is just a little dump house. Okay, ugly. It's probably worth less today than it was worth. Actually, it's probably worth more still. Even battered up and dumped, it's still, that one, I just bought it and I flipped it. I made $7,000 on that one. And then here's another one. Now this one I bought and I flipped and I made $100,000 on this one right here, $100,000. Okay, this is like 35 years ago. Okay, we're kind of reliving my childhood a little bit here. And then here's another one, another little dumper around the corner. I made it into a little illegal duplex. I poured this concrete. Car parks here. There's a little unit back here, and then everybody else would park up here on the front street.
Now, Tom, I've got to ask. All these properties you're showing us.
They would park here. Oh, what's that?
Are most of these the same method in which you talk about in your book?
Or yeah, 100%.
Okay.
100%. I mean, once in a while, maybe I'll be the first one to the for sale sign. Sometimes it was a letter. That's how it works. And the thing is that, but you can see, like, this is the little. I mean, yeah, I only know this property by recognizing it from the sky and knowing that it was around the corner from. I bought others in this neighborhood too that I hadn't even identified yet. But back to the emotional stuff. So now let's get over here. Now see, because I'm talking about choosing what to hang on to. Okay, so now this was one that I bought probably when I was 25. Okay, and what this is you can see there's an overpass here. That wasn't there when I bought it, but I knew this was coming in the future. They called it peripheral loop, and because I knew value, I knew the property, I knew stuff, and I held on to this when I paid $65,000, I think, for this, and there was a house right where this little slab is. You see here. There was a house here, and then this is a house that was already here in the front, one behind the other. And, it was a little HUD house. Same guy had been renting for 14 years when I bought it. And, I was thinking about the lady. I bought it from Lillian Kalari. And
is that the one with the dead rat in it or whatever?
That one had the dead rat. That one had the dead rat. And Muhammad Ali had just reclaimed his title. I was in 87 when I bought that. And it was in 1977, I think, that there was a newspaper on the floor from when Muhammad Ali had regained his title in the 70s. But, again, that's one that I held on to, even though, but again, I already had some money. I could have turned it right away and made $50,000, but I ended up holding it a little bit and I made, a couple $100,000. But that's what you got to think about. You make those decisions. But believe me, if that's all I had was that, you bet I'd have flipped it. There's no way I would have just sat on that thing and I put $10,000 down on it. I wouldn't have just rented it and had a payment, because you kind of get stuck. You get stuck. You gotta have seed capital. You gotta have money to work for. You gotta have money. And if you don't sell it, you're buying it. Just remember that. If you're not selling it, you're buying it. So that's the number one question you need to ask yourself, Rui, is if you don't sell it, okay, if you can sell it for $70,000, then you might as well ask yourself, would I have bought this for $70,000? I think the answer is no. Okay, so sell it, get your cash, and just go buy something else, and then do it again. Because you're talking about making 45% on your $12,000, but really you should be thinking about the fact that you just made 400% on your $12,000. So that's how I would look at it.
That's great.
All right.
Culture friendly. Hey, Tom and Chris, I'm interested in investing in a multifamily income property for my first property, a duplex or a triplex. I see good deals, but I want to save money. Should I go to an auction?
What? No. I mean, go get my book. You don't have my book. Just get my book. Spend $10 on the book, or you can get it on Kindle and be reading it in 5 minutes, or just order it for $20. Really, you wouldn't even ask that question if you had read my book, and it'll save you so much time and money, because it's really, listen, there is no bad real estate. There's just bad deals. Everybody knows that. A bunch of people that are watching, or they're in this group right now, they've already taken the mentorship. Liam here, he's already hit several home runs already in his own area, and the bottom line is you shouldn't be married to the idea of a duplex or anything else. Just look for a deal. You got to know what a deal is. Look at the properties in your area, and you're going to pass on a house that's a great deal for a duplex. It's just you got to be a little bit more broad or a little more open, but just make your money. Make your money. Okay, so Liam, do you think it's worth it to 1031 a $45,000 profit? God, I don't know. I actually one of my 1031s, there's a $45,000 tax bill due, so I have to pay $45,000. You're going to end up only paying. You're going to pay 34%. So you're going to pay 12, and then another. Yeah. You're going to pay almost $15,000, on that. So I don't know, Liam. The problem with doing a 1031 on that for $45,000, and I really never worried about doing 1031s till it was in excess of $100,000 usually. But on this, the chances that you're going to find a property in time to spend the money you have, it's probably not going to happen. So I would say just take your lumps. Just turn it. Pay the 30% and be done. Am I using PropStream on a daily basis? I'm starting to use it. I do like PropStream. I have a couple different databases besides PropStream too. Some are, some have different benefits than others. I talked about it in the mentorship class. But yeah, if you're going to get the PropStream, Tom, get the and I think you just joined the class. I think you might have just joined. But yeah, just use my link below, and they'll give me a pat on the back. I get a little credit for it. But yeah, PropStream is cool, okay? But it's $97 a month. Don't do it if you can't justify it. Don't spend the $97 if you can't do it. If you're or go in it with split it with a buddy. Split it. I let Chris use mine, right?
Yeah. And I do use it about every other day.
Yeah, he uses the heck out of it. Yeah. Hey, Kevin, great. Got a new mentee student, Kevin, in here. Recognize the name. Hi, Tom. I like your suggestion on starting out any kind of real estate. I was chewing on that idea for a while until I saw your broadcast. Yeah, listen, that's the typical thing. Everybody falls into I'm going to own a duplex and live in half, and it's only going to cost me 80 cents on the, 20 cents on the dollar. It's the wrong mentality. Right. And I used to have it too. I thought, that'd be great, and it's not a bad idea. Don't get me wrong, but you're talking about being stuck in something because you're talking about living it. I'm talking about flipping it. Just take the cash and run.
Yeah, I mean, I would have never dreamed a year ago because I was already thinking about real estate investing even before your book.
Sure,
I was trying the Airbnb stuff, but I never saw myself buying an empty lot for $5,000.
Yeah,
but I know the value. I know what's there, and I'm excited about that.
No, you'll do great. Oh, you'll fall in love with the lots too. Flipping lots is wonderful. But again, don't lock yourself into any one thing. If you know the value of a house, you ought to know the value of the lot and the lot next to it, so you can do both. Okay, you can do both. And then as you grow and as you accumulate more and more, then it's easy. It's easy for me to buy a piece of, land that's expensive, that's, on a highway, and I'm thinking about the future a little bit. Those are the benefits of having extra money, and that will come. But if you lock yourself down in just a couple and don't listen, you can still become a multimillionaire. You can buy, accumulate several properties and then just struggle holding them for the next 20, 30 years. And at the end, it'll be worth millions.
That doesn't sound very fun.
It's not much fun. And, but listen, it's not that I don't do that too, but I got money I'm playing with and turning and getting cash. But I have a couple things that I'll buy and I'll hold it for 20 years and I'll make millions on it. I did it with that, 50 acres I did. And then this, this highway property I just bought, I'm not really thinking about it now. I'm thinking that when my boys get out of college, we'll build a business park and I can teach them how to build. Probably a fantasy. I don't think they're not going to walk in my footsteps, sadly. They're going to inherit it all, but probably. I don't want them to think listen, don't count on it, boys. I might spend it. But, again, you can't get hurt taking a profit. But if you sit there and try to forecast and see, like me, even fantasizing about, I'm going to show my boys how to build, it's a waste of time for me. It really is a waste of time for me because it doesn't happen. I bought houses, and I was trying to buy a house. Maybe one of the kids will move into it. I'm going to have them kids all near me. But the fact is they go to college, they fall in love with other people, and then they live in another state. That's kind of how stuff goes. And, that's just how it goes. Yeah. Hey, Keith. Yep. Hey, as many as possible. He said, Keith Roy, how many millionaires are you trying to create? Yeah, look, there's room for millions of millionaires. Let me tell you, there's thousands of cities in every state, okay? And in every state, there's opportunities in every city within every state. So there's just so much opportunity out there. And, look, I've got Chris right here next to me, and I'm sitting here sharing every secret I possibly can. He's got the benefit more than anybody because I'm a phone call away. We're in the same room sometimes. And it doesn't bother me. He's not stepping on my toes. He's an asset to me. He's actually he almost flipped me a property the other day and made $5,000. But again, that's how much there is. There's plenty of room for everybody. Yep. Okay. Come on in. The water's fine. Seriously. So you just got here. Get my book. You're wasting time not buying my book. Spend $10, $20. Take a chance on getting ripped off for $20. Okay. Yeah. It's peanuts. You're gonna lose a hell of a lot more with the first bad investment you make.
Let's take another couple questions before we do. If you're still tuning in, hit that like button, subscribe so that you know when we're live on.
Yeah,
Tuesdays,
please hit that subscribe button. That's important. I never ask enough, and then when I do, I see that people do. So yeah, please everybody hit the subscribe button. Believe me, this lesson today could be something that's worth hundreds of thousands of dollars to you. Seriously, if you watch this thing and you understood what I just explained to you, information is the most powerful, most valuable asset you could ever have, and I'm giving it to you, okay? Yeah. And really, I should probably just keep this one inside the mentorship, so I will delete this when I'm done.
You heard it. If you want to flip a property to get cash for more investments, when is it best to hold for a year before selling versus selling immediately and paying short-term? Well, we already talked about that, really. What did you do with your empty lot? I currently have an empty lot in a residential area that came with one of my duplexes.
Oh, sweet.
I've been using it to make my duplex more attractive, but I have to pay to get it mowed. That was Philip.
Sell it, Philip. Just go stake that thing and put a for sale sign in it. And if it should be zone multifamily, just like the one you're in. I mean, you got to make sure. Sometimes you have to have 10,000 square feet, or there might be a minimum per unit. Like if you need 5,000 per unit, but if you have 10,000 square feet, you can put in 2 units. Maybe you have an 8,000 square foot lot, and you can just put a house there. I don't know for sure, but I would check it out. But I can tell you right now, sell it, sell it, just sell it. What do you think your duplex is worth? I wonder if a lot of times duplexes aren't even worth building cost, depending on where you're at. So it just depends.
Interesting. Yeah. Cyrus is looking forward to bird dogging some estate sales this weekend. Just stay away from those that group of ladies. Do garage sales.
Yeah, don't be fooled. They might be really wise. They put up a estate sale, and you go in there, you're going to see four baby strollers sitting there.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, man, I'm itching to get out to some estate sales myself.
Oh God. Okay, let's see. Tom G. I went to a free weekend seminar a few months back, which is pretty good, until the presenter said it would only cost $50,000 to work with him. Jeez. Tom's class blows this away. So there you go. I mean, I know he's right. Look, you are the target. When you go to a free seminar, don't be fooled. You are the money, okay? You are the prospect. They're looking for you. They know that you are a qualified lead. You came in there to learn about buying real estate because you have some money, you have some credit, and they smell it like blood. They go, oh, here comes somebody that has money, and they're going to try to take it from you. So my advice is if you're even a little bit weak, stay away from the free seminars. They're not free.
I hate that for people.
Yeah, it's horrible. I've heard horrible. And listen, some people just get taken for $2,000 and they're lucky, but it's devastating because that's $2,000 that they don't have. It's $2,000 that they maybe put on a credit card. It's sad. It's people. They don't listen. You need to think about those seminars as the most sinister, disgusting group of people you can imagine. The worst. They will take 2 or 3 credit cards from you and help you max out all 4 or all 3 or whatever. And I remember somebody called me about getting in the mentorship, and they were trying to put it on between 2 cards. And I said, man, why don't you just get your card paid down a little bit first and read the book?
Yeah.
And I do listen, I don't take just everybody. If I think that it's not good for whatever reason, and 9 times out of 10, I do think it's good. But if if I don't think it's good, I won't sell anybody the course. It's not in me to do it. It's not worth it. I don't care about the money. The main reason I charge money is to separate the serious from the unserious, because there's a lot of tire kickers out there that will ask me the stupidest questions and think nothing of wasting my time. And I got to separate it out, because there's too many people that are really, really serious about and passionate about making money. Like Cyrus. Cyrus is a diehard, and Keith too. And I appreciate you guys, and Chris too, and everybody, really everybody. Anne Marie, Ellie. We get to know each other. We got a lot of really, really great people, and I got Denny and Gwen. They're a husband and wife, group, and they're it's a great listen. If you're even considering a mentorship or a class, take mine. Just take mine. Look at the testimonials. Look at the video testimonials. People that have already made hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen with you, but
there's references.
There's Liam. Liam's one of them in here, and Ron.
Tom G says he said every day people were actually talking about taking money from their 401ks, their retirement money, to pay the $50,000. For these courses. And it's like you always say, that's your seed money. And speaking of that, I'm actually about to take some money from my 401k, cash it out, and I'm using that as seed money for, putting down payment on these properties. So
I don't know what a 401k is. I'm happy to say I don't have one. I do not have one. I have,
it's
I have
almost,
cash and I have real estate.
Here's the deal. And those of you watching, you'll probably tag along with me on this one, but it's hilarious to me to hear a millionaire say, I don't know what a 401k is. Like that's just, I think the culture of money and what I've even been taught in my generation is put it all in the 401k if you want to be a millionaire whenever you finally get close to death. There's actually a deal where, I don't know if any of you have a Roth IRA, but you can actually take your basis money out of your Roth IRA. Not the interest gain, but just the basis. You can take that out tax free because it's already been taxed. That's what I'm doing for purchasing some property.
Sorry, I'm writing my electrician.
Yeah.
He's got to know something before in the morning because he's picking up materials to do some work. Again, like I don't have to be concerned. What I know about a 401k is it sounds like it's money you get to save up, and that, the only thing I like about a 401k that I know about a 401k is that I hear that employers will match. If you save $1, they'll give you $1. Now that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, people have matching programs, free money.
That makes sense to me, and
you should do that.
But beyond that, it's not something I have any interest in on either side of that scenario. But listen, I tell people my stock is on my shelves, okay? My stock is on my shelves. And that means, the books that represent the buildings that I own, it's on the shelves. That's my stock, is my real estate. But stay away from seminars. Whatever you do, stay away from seminars. And whatever you do, get my book. It's the best $10-20 you'll ever spend. And if you really want to take it up a step, you can spend $649. I just raised in fact, I closed the class because I raised the price and a bunch of people jumped in. And now we're maxed out for now. But we're going to start another one in about 4 weeks. We'll write it down. All right. So look, we've been on about an hour, so I think it's about time to kill it.
Sounds good.
And I'll probably do something. I'll put something up tomorrow. I got some these landlord videos I've been doing because I've been kind of getting really back into. Now that I'm done, I picked out the properties I'm buying. Now I can get back and take care of the empty holes, meaning the units I need to get rented. I've got about 4 or 5 more to rent out, and probably another $6,000-8,000 a month. And like, if you guys look at the rentals that I just rented this week, now that this pandemic stuff's cleared up, I'm starting to fill everything up. But just those 3 empties that have been sitting empty for many months now, that's $156,000 a year just sitting there. And, you get lazy sometimes, and you really got to be careful because even, you can have vacancies and you're going, geez, still plenty of money coming in, but you're wasting money. And I have to tell myself this, okay? You got to keep things full. You got to keep them rented, keep that money coming in. Thanks, Cyrus. Yeah, I was really, really happy with my one accounting tenant. It's just a beautiful. They're all beautiful, actually. The tenants. I don't care what a building looks like. They all have their beauty in what they do. Whether it's an industrial building and they're building in it, or if it's an office and they're just making money, doing what they do best.
Maybe next week, topic for conversation could be property management. Just, as you scale and as you obtain more properties, at what point, there's people out there that try to, they'll sell you services, or do you do it yourself? Do you hire a property manager?
Yeah. I mean, I can tell you all kinds of stuff. And I, in general, I like to watch my stuff, and I have in-house people, and I have people outside subs and outside company. I never used to really care to manage my house as much. We do a handful, but otherwise I sub that out to other management companies. But so look, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. I never ask enough, and I regret it later. But please hit subscribe. The channel is growing. I can actually see some increases again. And, I've been, and really, it's kind of nice because people have been more interested on the topic of making money in real estate rather than, where I go up and kind of bash somebody that isn't so experienced. Let's see. Quick one from Jonathan. Hi, Tom. There's a property in my area with a bad foundation. Sloping to an end. It's pretty bad. That's hard to say. 2614 square foot, built in 1929. Look, you can see a bad foundation. You can see cracks. You can see brick walls that are wavy because what happens is when the foundation starts to break, it breaks this way, and then it breaks on the inside and it pulls away. So you can have a wall. Let me see if I can get my hand up, that falls back and falls one direction at the same time. And then when they go back and they repair it, you literally look at the wall and you see the wall kind of comes out at you, and then it goes back. And I could take some pictures of stuff that I've seen. So. But you get a foundation company and they say, no, there's no more damage. In other words, it's fallen and it's stopped where it's going to stop. This is it. It's not going to shrink. It's not going to sink anymore. So you go in and you adjust the doors that are jammed and everything else, and then everything's going to be fine for the next, 20 years. But Jonathan, it could be a problem when you go to resell it because somebody else may not be as understanding as you or care for it. So you got to be careful, Probably, it just depends what you're paying for it. It just depends on what you're paying for it.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
Cool. All right, guys. Have a good one.
Yep. Thank you. And again, please subscribe, hit and comment if you want to comment in the comments. That's good too. Otherwise, I'm going to have about 10 Chinese girls saying they love me. A bunch of spam crap goes in there immediately as soon as we finish the videos. I don't know if there's any way to get around it, but I hate for that to be the only comments that are in there. But all right. Hey, thanks everybody. And you guys take care.